So it looks like COVID is trying to make a comeback, and we're going to take a look at that for a minute. My name is Moshe Hill. This is A Hill with a View. If you like this content, please make sure to like the video, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Let's get the word out, and hopefully we'll get a lot of content out there, grow the channel, so see what we can do. So let's get right to it. We got this COVID is coming back. It's the winter months. Now that Kathy Hochul has won re-election in New York, don't be surprised if some regulations start coming back, and we're going to show you exactly what's going on. So what I'm going to start with is this COVID vaccine schedule, which was a few months back, that they added the COVID vaccine to the schedule. So let's just take a look at that
Centers
report.
for Disease Control Advisory Panel voted Thursday to add COVID shots to children's vaccine schedule. The vote means that it's recommended that kids begin getting doses of a COVID vaccine when they are 6 months old. But CDC officials make it clear, including COVID vaccines on the list does not constitute a mandate, primarily for kids in school.
And one of the things to emphasize that this is going to be local decisions. So the CDC does not have the ability to mandate vaccines.
So we're going to take a pause over there for a second. So first of all, they want to have the vaccine as for kids as young as 6 months old, which is crazy. They just want to throw the vaccine out there. They have no data to support this. That when the CDC pushed this on their schedule, they did not include any data to support that children that age require the vaccine to stay healthy, as opposed to all the other vaccines that they do get that are on the schedule that are mandated by states: measles, chickenpox, polio. All these vaccines are there because children are adversely affected by those diseases. COVID does not adversely affect children by multiple diseases. We knew this right away in 2020. We know this today, yet they still push it. They still want to get it on kids as young as 6 months old. Okay? That's first of all. Second of all, so now we already say that the CDC didn't mandate this. It's going to local control. Okay? So what they're saying is that it's going to be up to states, it's going to be up to localities, it's going to be up to this to decide whether or not they are going to require your children to get the vaccine. All right? So now let's think about New York. New York is a very blue state. New York loves regulations. They love to demand things. They love to be on the cutting edge of these things. They want to be the first to jump into the pool. So they want to be like California. Oh, so someone's gonna mandate it, it's gonna be New York, okay? So that's what we got to think about. Now, also think about the reasoning. Now, I'm going to play this back, what this doctor is saying. This is their Fox News, Fox TV, Michigan's in-house guide, Detroit is in-house guide. But basically, they're talking also about the cost, okay? The cost of the vaccine. Now, remember that the government, the federal government, was covering the cost of the vaccination for everybody up until this point. But now they said they're going to stop doing that, and it's going to start costing around $110 a pop to get the vaccination. However, listen to what this guy has to say.
Important things that this is going to accomplish is that eventually when the COVID vaccines move away from being government subsidized, so free for all, by the fact that they're still recommended for children by the CDC, that'll allow them to be free through different vaccine subsidy programs.
Medical professionals say those who are still against the COVID vaccine for children should look to science for answers.
If you look at the data, if you look at the science, the safety of it and the benefit, it absolutely is the right move to recommend.
All right, so that went a little longer because I always love to include that part where it's like, you must look to the science for answers. Really? Show me the science. Show it, because you don't have it, okay? You don't have it. So let's take a thought about that idea that if you mandate it, then it becomes free again. Now, what do Democrats love to do the most? They love to give away free things. They love to help the poor. They love to help these people. We're helping everybody. We're helping. It's like, well, you're not helping. You're mandating. You're requiring everybody. But if they make it a mandate, then they can figure out a way to get people the vaccine for free. So under the guise of getting things for free, looks like they're going to mandate it, okay? Which means that everybody's going to have to get it for their kids 6 months old to go to school. That's what's first thing, okay? So now we're going to look into what Hochul said. Let's take a little trip back to the debate with Lee Zeldin a couple weeks back. I miss you, Lee Zeldin.
Will you follow the CDC's recommendation to add COVID vaccines to children's vaccine schedules?
Children weren't able to get back to school unless we directed them to make sure that they had the opportunity to wear a mask. A mask was able to get kids back into schools.
Okay, that's a bold-faced lie. She just lies straight there. I had to include that part in the debate. She said that you had to have a mask, but that was the way you got it back into schools. Masks, as we know now, against Omicron, even against Delta. First, if you're going to say masks, you're going to have to say N95s, KN95s. You got to be specific. You can't say any kind of mask. We all know this now. We know this. This is fact. This is not fiction. This is not conspiracy theory. This is fact. You need to be specific on what kind of mask you use. Cloth masks are useless. Bandanas are useless. All those things are useless. So now you're talking about N95s and KN95s for children who had to wear them for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, depending on where they were in school. And they're not talking about all the adverse effects of that. But no, we're not going to talk about that.
Would you mandate a COVID vaccine for children or no?
Not at this time. I'm going to talk about parental control over this, but I'd also say it's something that comes down to the legislature anyhow. The legislature makes the determination in consultation with health experts for next year's school.
Okay, so not at this time, but not at this time. You have the parents' decisions, but it's going to go through the legislature. The very deep blue legislature, that the Democrats still have a majority, the majority on. They broke the supermajority in the Senate, which is good. So that's at least something. So we still have to make sure we call every single state senator we can to make sure that they don't push forward a COVID vaccine, because unless she's lying, which she probably is, she'll wait to get a bill to her desk, which she will sign if it does come to her desk. So let's assume she told the truth on the debate stage. Huge assumption, but let's assume it. And she's going to wait to get a bill to the desk before she mandates the COVID vaccine for children as young as 6 months old. Okay? Now let's just take a quick look at something, because let's see if she actually respects the science and the data, and see if she respects children. This came out a few days ago. After she won re-election, she and the Democrats went to go party down in Puerto Rico. They're very happy that they won, and they're very happy that they get to subjugate New Yorkers for another couple of years. So this is her at this wonderful Puerto Rico event. Oh, look at her. She's dancing. Look how happy she is. Oh, wait, but look at all the children. All the children are masked. Every single child is masked, but the adults get to breathe, get to do this. So let me get this straight. Kathy Hochul is, I believe, 62 years old. By all metrics, by every piece of data we have, the older you are, the more danger you're in from COVID. Then there's other factors. There's weight, there's health, there's all these kind of things. Plenty of other factors here. But another thing we know is that the younger you are, the less COVID affects you. But look, all the adults, 1 adult, 2 adult, 3 adults, all the adults, I think I see one back there wearing a mask, but they're all happy, smiling. There we go. This is who New York just elected to represent us again. So now we're going to jump up to Ontario for a second, because the Board of Health, the head of the Board of Health in Ontario, Canada, had some interesting things to say about masking coming up.
So you've just spoken about just people masking around vulnerable people. Are you not recommending that people mask in all indoor settings? Is that not your announcement today?
Absolutely, with a particular focus on our children and protecting.
So masking with a particular focus on the children. A particular focus on the children. Who needs to mask first is the children. That's who they're always going after. They're always going to push the kids doing the masking. They're always going to push the kids doing the vaccines. It's up to us, the adults, the parents, to make sure that this doesn't happen. Okay? So this is what we're up against. This is the next step in the big fight. We need to make sure that these vaccines don't hit our kids, because the adverse effects are starting to be seen. We're seeing rising rates of myocarditis. We're seeing rising rates of issues with periods. that women are having, that young women are having, we're having these issues. They do not want to be reported on, but they are happening. These are not conspiracy theories. We need to do the research and the data, and they're not doing it. They are not looking into this. The CDC has to look into this. News organizations need to look into this. They need to start questioning the narrative. And that's what we're doing. So we have to question the narrative, and you have to make sure that if any legislation comes down to mandate these vaccines, we need to call every single senator in the state of New York and make sure they vote no. We got to turn at least a few of them. The assembly, there's probably enough people in Manhattan to do it, but we got to turn the senator, make sure they vote against this. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, please, please share with a friend. And we're going to be back as soon as possible. This was A Hill with a View. My name is Moshe Hill. Have a great night.